That's not a touch. Kendo, what are you already doing here? I saw your chat. I thought it was a glitch. I thought it was from yesterday until I saw the timestamp. You're just lurking already? A and yeah indeed. Maybe. All right, sounds good. Anyone else watch 4 hours of the Game Awards just to not see the trailer for the new DLC that he wanted to see for Elden Ring? Me too. Oh my God, we're so alike. Ha 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 ha. What a weird, wacky waste of time that would have been. That I could have been streaming and expanding my fan base. I got the sweetest comment on YouTube today, I'm not gonna lie. So one of my shorts is doing my favorite thing, where it gets like a decent number of views initially, and then it kind of goes, and then it goes, it just spikes back up. It's like spiking like crazy. It's got like 6K views just today, I think. And one of the comments is just, hey, what rank is this? And I'm like, oh, this is like GC3, SSL, something like that. And he goes, oh my God, you deserve like way more views. I've seen like other streamers that are not as funny or like not as good as you get like 10 times your views. So you deserve to have this go viral or all your stuff. And I'm just like, like that's literally the goal, homie, is just eventually enough people start thinking that. I do still feel like the potential for Rocket League content is very capped compared to other games, but you know, I think that'd be something that would be nice to have. I'm glad people are enjoying the shorts, and hopefully the content I plan in the future is also interesting to. I become a rocket racing main. I mean, I kind of want to like check it out in a way, but I also don't really want to. I don't know. It's like not necessarily like disinteresting to me. I'm just kind of like do I want to actually get into? Do I want to have to install Fork Knife? I'm gonna play it. Looks fun. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I feel like I owe it to Psyonix to give it a shot. They like if they're gonna cut time away from Rocket League to work on this, I feel like I owe it to them. Like, if Rocket League didn't exist, I wouldn't be here, so. I don't want to call makeup as I really expected. That's what I'm saying, Merly. I was literally watching, and then I flipped over to Little Aggie's channel just to watch, like, him and his girlfriend Parkin Arbor, like the other streamer, Elden Ring streamer. And I was like, yo, like, I wonder if they're gonna show it. And then apparently, after they cut to the commercial right before Game of the Year, they were just like, yeah, I don't think it's happening this year. They're like, there's just no way. Like, it would definitely happen before Game of the Year. But apparently there was a tweet somewhere from someone it works at From, and they were kind of just like, hey guys, maybe you don't get your hopes up. And it was like, oh. And a bunch of people took that as like evidence that they're not releasing the DLC trailer yet, which is weird because it says early 2024 is when the trailer's coming out. So, well, yeah, I wish I saw it too because I low-key would not have watched the Game Awards. The only thing I got kind of excited for was the God of War Ragnarok thing, but it's Valhalla. And they're like, oh, it's free DLC, which first of all, super dope. The crowd loved it. Like, that's great. But it's like a roguelike semi-side expansion bonus mode, basically. It's like a boss rush from what I can tell. So I thought that was a little like, oh, like that's not really a DLC as much as it is just like this is extra stuff to do that's not really like a full game or anything. Anyway, though, apparently it's a storyline though, and it is a roguelike, so hopefully that means like you're picking up stuff and gaining abilities as you play. Anywho, yeah, I watched the entirety of the Game Awards just to not see anything, and I was really upset about that. Because I in my brain, I know the Game Awards would have been drooling to get any Elden Ring content into their viewership. I will say though, I did not realize Game Awards popped off that hard on Twitch. The viewership was like almost like 400K at one point. I did not realize it was that insane. No wonder they can get all those trailers. It's not just like, because I thought it would be like 100K. I thought people would be like, yeah, cool, Game Awards. But I'm glad to see Baldur's Gate cleaned up. That game, it's one of the few games that I did not play that I knew was good just because of every single person who played it universally being like, this is one of the most impressive things I've ever played. Like, it's a story mode game. Timothy Chevrolet. Bro, that was such a letdown, I'm not gonna lie. Like Simu Liu and Anthony Mackie, they looked like genuinely hype to get in there. And like they had jokes and bits. And granted, Anthony Mackie, his bit was going on way too long. I think he needed to shut up. But ultimately, it was fun to like, oh, you're like want to be here. You're like having fun. You're interacting with fans. Yeah, you get to plug your own show or whatever the fuck. But like, it was still like kind of cute to see him like actually get into it. And then Timothy Chevrolet, as they call him, the only like A-lister that actually got a tweet to say that he was getting announced, at least that I saw. He comes out there and then he walks out and he's like, so anyway, the nominees for Game of the Year. I'm like, you're not even gonna do like a bit? You're not gonna have an intro? You're not gonna talk about anything? You're not gonna talk about like, oh, I love video games, played them all the way, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was just so upset that they hyped this man up. This like huge, very in right now actor who loves to have fun as seen by his SNL thing. And then he just came out and was just like, yeah, anyway, so the Game of the Year nominees are, and then he announces it and he leaves. And I'm like, whatever they paid him, it was too much. I don't care what celebrities coming out. There's no way that was worth it for them. There's absolutely no way the people at the TGA were like, that was worth the $1 million paycheck we sent to him. Imagine you got paid for 20 seconds of being on camera. Not even. I was blown away by that. But anyway, glad the Baldur's Gate studio head was wearing a suit of armor and he actually ended up working. What are you talking about? Sorry. The Game Awards were today, like basically the Oscars or whatever of game design of video gaming and game design, and they got Timothy Chalamet, who's like a really famous actor. If you Google him, if you don't recognize the name, you would know him. I feel like. And he basically they had other like really famous actors from like Marvel properties, or like smaller TV shows, and they made an appearance and they all like did like a little bit and they like joked around a little bit like that they were having fun. And then at the end of the year, Game of the Year was announced by Timothy Chalamet, and he comes out and he was just like immediately goes right into, so here are the nominees for Game of the Year. I'm just like, it was just very strange. Bro, they should have got Henry Cavill on the stage. The man's a huge nerd. They'll probably do that if like a Witcher game comes out again or something. He's a huge Witcher fan on top. Which is why I think everyone was pumped to see him do the Witcher series. Apparently Witcher series was really bad because they butchered the shit out of it. He was very upset about that. There's like definitely a genre of dudes though, like Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa and what's his name? Michael Giannopoulos? No. I forget his name, but like another super buff guy that apparently he runs D&D games for fellow celebrities in his basement. His man cave is literally like a D&D room. It's always like, also Vin Diesel, super into D&D. He apparently he does like the audio voiceover for like a D&D board game that you can buy or something. Like this, or he does like the vocalizations for something. I don't remember what it is. I think like one of the preset campaigns or something. He's the voice of it. Shit. Henry Cavill dresses the Whistler with red undie on top of his pants because he's also Superman. I mean, that's ideal. I wish I was a hyper attractive muscular dude who also got to be a nerd and no one gave him shit about it. Oh yeah. Doesn't seem like a gamer. I mean, that's why it's kind of funny to like get him in that type of shit, because it's like, I also have never heard of him. Honestly, the Game Awards, they introduced him as like introducing YouTuber modded controller 360. I'm not sure if I misheard it, but it sounded like they were giving him like a fake name, like, oh, in order to present Game of the Year, here's a YouTuber that named this, and then Timothy Chalamet walked in, and then he just did the intro, and I was like, okay, so I feel like they talked to Timothy, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do any jokes or anything, I'm just gonna say it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, we'll introduce you as a goofy name. He's like, I don't care, whatever. And for a second, I was like, does Timothy Chalamet have a YouTube channel? I'm like, I don't think he does. He used to mod Xbox controllers. Oh, really? He did? That's funny. Okay, that's kind of cute then. It was funny though, because like, Well, I will never understand true stan culture though, because Hercules was basically saying she watched the Game Awards just to see him, and I'm just like, I don't know, I can't comprehend that. I can't think of a single woman in the world that if it was announced that, hey, like a celebrity woman, that like if the Game Awards are announced and they're like, oh, I'm presenting one of the awards, I wouldn't watch an entire 4-hour show or whatever just to see that woman. And I don't know if she actually like, she probably didn't mean it. She's probably just like, oh, it's like a bonus. I get to see Timothée Chalamet, but it was very strange to watch. And I'm like, or I listened to that and I'm just like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're watching just for this one dude to present for 20 seconds? I watched for Kojima, and then Jordan Peele. I don't play horror games. That was pretty lit. That trailer was like really well done. It was really interesting and unique. And the fact that and honestly, when he said, all right, thank you so much, I was like, really, that's weird that they got him for that short of an interview. So the fact that there was like that hidden reveal that Jordan Peele's involved, that was dope as hell. I mean, it's a really cool project, it looks like. Really immersive. I will say, I'm not always a huge fan of Kojima's stuff, because like I don't really like stuff like Death Stranding. But that game was a little weird when I played bits and pieces of it. I was not able to get into it as much as I wish I did. But like stuff like Metal Gear is fucking dank as fuck, bro. I still feel like one of the last Metal Gear was like legitimately one of the best stealth games ever created. It's like literally solving a puzzle. You just go up to a secret base. And granted, yeah, you don't have to be stealthy, but obviously Metal Gear is one of the few games that actually makes stealth more fun to play than just going guns blazing. Not in a sexual way, but what would you do for a guy? Like someone you're a big fan of? What? But would you do it for a guy, like something you're a big fan of? What do you mean? Like, would I watch a show for a dude I'm a fan of? Absolutely not. I'm not interacting with them. Like, if I was meeting them, yeah, I would go to the Game Awards. Like, if it was like, hey, you get to meet like a celebrity that you're a huge fan, I would be like, oh, hell yeah, I'd love to talk to him. Just even for like a little bit, just to get a photo together or something. Someone like I really admire. I got a picture with Shogun at the VIP section of Worlds in 2022. That was enough for one life. See 20 seconds of Xeno talk to it. You never watched a George show just to see someone perform? Perform? Ah, yes, live performances, my favorite part. Nah, I've never wanted to see a live performance of anything. The only live performance I've really actually liked at an award show is Glory from the Selma movie back in the day. That is actually like a really beautiful song. Also, it has a choir backing, which is automatically makes any song so epic and touching and evocative, emotionally evocative. You mostly missed out on getting a picture with me. Pavlov, were you at the Game Awards? Honestly, if Pavlov was there, I probably would go just to get a picture with the goat. I don't think Pavlov we've ever taken a photo because we've said hi to each other. Oh, at Worlds. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, wait, you were at the Game Awards? I was like, I couldn't go to that. Yeah, well, that was partly because I was rushing back to my seat, and you were like, hi, and I was like, oh, hi. I just had to say hi, but I was like, I had to get back because people were waiting for me. Oh, it felt bad. But next time, yes, 100%, we're taking the time to chat, get a photo. I got a photo with a lot of people there. That's my favorite part of LANs is getting photos of people, getting to talk to people who like have never met me before, or like who watch my stuff or like my casting or whatever. Also, guys, I got apparently someone's the esports director of someone. They found a power ranking of CRL casters, and I outrank most of the CRL casters, which made me laugh because I'm like, I'm not even on CRL. So yeah, I got that DM to me today. It was pretty weird. So I was just like, oh dang, okay, well at least my reputation's good in the scene. People still recognize me as a CRL caster. One day they'll recognize me as an RLCS caster. Game Awards seemed kind of dumb, but maybe it would be fun. Where was it? The Peacock Theater? I don't know where that is, though. I'm assuming it's like LA or something like that. Does anyone know? Vegas? Probably LA. I feel like if you're flying out a bunch of rich people, especially from Japan, they probably just want to go to LA. They probably just one-shot it, right? You just go right straight from Japan to LA. Oh, it is in Vegas? Okay, never mind. But yeah, wait, it is an wait, hold on. I'm confused. Which Peacock Theater? Honestly, the coolest part for me about play some 3s and 2s. Honestly, the weirdest thing for me about the Game Awards is that I actually, what would Scooby? Oh my gosh, what would Scooby do? Wow, it's been a while since I've seen that username. I am well. Hopefully you're doing well. The shot of the Vegas Sphere. Oh yeah, they did say there was an ad. Yeah, they did it for like a Samsung like ad for gaming. Okay, also, I will say, pretty impressed with the Game Awards. I was watching on Twitch. I don't remember a lot of commercial breaks that I hit, but I think more importantly than that, I legit felt like I watched the entire thing. Like the fact that their ad breaks were just game trailers was actually pretty nice, because I was like, oh cool, I get to watch like actual art as opposed to like, oh my god, this holiday season, make sure you hop into a BMW with blah, 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 with the newest sale for the, and just like, you know? Like, instead of actual ads, it was like an interesting, well put together trailer. Like, that was like really nice touch. I was literally like watching the whole thing just because of that. Also, Hellblade 2, that fucking trailer was sick. I know nothing about that game series and I want to play it. That shit looks like a film. I don't know if anyone's remembered that trailer in the beginning. First was fantastic. I don't even remember number 1. That's why I'm confused. That's why I was confused, because I'm like, if this game is anything like, if number 1 is anything like this game, then I feel like this game is like insane. Like, I would love to play this. Because the trailer just looks so cinematic. It's like, the camera's like so incredibly like claustrophobic. It's so close to the person, makes like every hit like really visceral, and I'm like, god damn, this is like fucking lit. Where have you been all my life? What the heck was that? Got launched. Let's see if he would go over top. It's okay, Bloopy, you got it. I didn't think we'd give it away. That's doing good. I'm getting banned on RL. Why would you ever get banned on RL? I need to get down to LA at some point soon. No one needs to go down to LA. Not a single human needs to go in LA. I have free defense on it. Okay, that's the exception. Whoa. I didn't get a reset on that side one? Interesting. The Magic Castle. Wow, great control. I didn't expect him to actually be half decent on that one. Flick, you gotta flick now. Bloopy turn! I saw a demo and I saw Bloopy turn around for that. I was like, oh, maybe you can get that. Ooh, nice save by Chuck Forrest. I thought he would really panic on that one. No, that was a pass, bro. What are you doing? It's all film, folks. That Nothing I hate more than people not getting the ball and instead getting me. It's probably a save. Oof. This has just been one-sided. It's such a toxic game since it became free to play. I lose by one to get shit talked by 12-year-olds, and I can't live with that. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I feel like if people genuinely don't like getting trash talked, they should just turn off the chat. Because at a certain point, I think there's plenty of games where people don't get trash talk, but all it takes is one for your mood to get like ruined for the day. But personally, I wouldn't. Yeah, this game just wasn't winnable from the start. I need it. I don't do good until it happens. I don't think it's good for you, homie, if you're getting banned and saying no, this is necessary. Do you see the trailer for the new Team Ninja game? I don't remember what game it was. I feel like for me on oh, also, we got egoed by Luminosity, I think, today. I'm not sure if they're finalizing stuff today, but I think they said they're starting to reach out to people today, and I did not get reached out to. Rotched out to? Reeked? I did not get a DM. So I think Luminosity egoed me, but that's fair. Wasn't expecting much anyway. Especially since ultimately that competition is basically me against all of the other esports that are actually doing well. The moment I started seeing like the woman in Apex start streaming, or like be like, oh hi, I would love to join. They have like 14K subs, are already a Twitch partner, and I'm just like, or 14K followers on Twitter, and they're like, you know, 30K on Twitch, and I'm just like, is this person really a small streamer? That is like, I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna be pretty interesting to see who they end up picking up in December. I think they said they're gonna announce who they signed in 2024 or something. I'm gonna be fascinated to see who they sign, because it started as like a small creator thing, but the more I started researching people, I'm like, these are like large creators. Like these are not, I don't know if they're technically eligible based on what they were talking about, but I guess we'll see. Hey, pretty boy. It's only a month here and there. Bro, a month is such a massive stretch of time. Like, you should not be getting yourself banned for that long. Last time when you were in here, you used to argue all the time with Shifty. Shifty has since moved on from the stream, but I don't know, bro. I think you just like conflict. Small is a relative term. Yeah, but I mean, even in Rocket League, I'm a medium-sized creator, I would say, in Rocket League. Like, people have heard of me. Like people have heard of my stream. People know that I do stream or whatever, but like, I don't think when people name off creators, I make like the top 15 of people they can name off. For most people. And so that's kind of like what I mean. Yeah, there's a little bit of reach. Another full party on fort. Well, for me, it's just like, the tough thing is that the Luminosity thing is specifically built to like be for small creators, which is why I wanted to apply to it and be kind of like involved. But that's where I'm a little confused, a little rough, because it's like, I do wonder if me being, like, because I do other content and outside of Rocket League at times. Like, I do some like sketch comedies type stuff that I want to do more of, but it's just hard to set up and film because I have to move my camera and my lights. But you know, I do like random shit like that. I'm a caster. I can run events for them. I can host them if they needed that or something, because I do know that every org likes to run events from time to time or something. I just, you know, whatever they need. So I figured I could try to market that. But the thing is, like, if you're in a game like Rocket League, they might just view it as like it's not worth picking up a creator in this space. Like, yeah, we should have a pro team, but like, we don't really need a creator in that sense. And so for them, they might just be like, it's better to pick up a just chatting person, or better to pick up an Apex person, or better to pick up like other esports that are maybe like a little bit more active in terms of like, I guess, their content potential. I don't know. It's tough. Or everyone argue with Shifty in my defense. I mean, yeah. Well, Shifty is just like a weird person because he liked the arguments. Like, he was very much the classic definition of someone who like thrived on like, yeah, I like getting into arguments. I'm a confrontational person. And then you attack something that was personally related to him, and he's like, whoa, we're going too far now. I still remember when someone made a Roll Tide joke about incest. He's like, ha ha ha, yeah, all Alabamans just commit incest. Yeah, what a classic and original joke. And I'm like, all right, bro, like, come on. And he's just like, no, it's just like immature that you guys are. I'm like, bro, like, that's like such an old joke. Are you actually upset about that? Well, I remember the Beatles argument. I don't really remember. It was like something like he was saying the Beatles are overrated. Like the most popular and like widely revered band of like the 20th century, and people are like, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know, they're kind of overblown. I'm like, I don't know if you're just purposely trying to be a troll, but like, freezing cold take, like, subarctic temperatures of that take. Oh my god, I missed the shot and I missed the bump, bro. Hi, Iro. That without fail, that will always be that guy driving directly at a ball and then turning infield as soon as I turn at it. So unfortunate. Oh, that wasn't a good dude. What the? Are you familiar with casting headsets? Absolutely, sir. What's your question? I have one just to the left of me. What a terrible touch. Oh no. I like defenses that don't get scored on. Why would a llama need to use a casting headset? Well, most llamas don't, but the llama. I'm not going to stop queuing. I'm not going to stop queuing because a 1400 peak is going to tell me that. I don't know what the hell is going on that. 2 for an in-person casting at my coaching job. BPHS 2 or 1s are really good. That's the one I have. That was a great save, by the way. Excellently played, sir, to bump me off my read and dunk it. Okay, buddy. So strange, bro. I kind of wish I got sorted directly into his threes game. Yeah, I would say the BPHS one is probably the one that I own that I still recommend because it's like $250 per. It's like a really nice one. Granted, if you're looking for cheaper than that, I don't think I know any of cheaper that I would recommend like wholeheartedly. Granted, the only issue with BPHS is obviously you need a mixer, so assuming you already have a mixer or like a two-person mixer, then it's not a huge deal. Hey, Argmeat. It's doing. Oh. Let's buy him some time. Oh, interesting. No mixer either? Well, that's going to be your first issue. Not a lot of USB headset casting mics for a reason. Oh, man, I should have complicated that. New season thoughts? It's a season. That's my general thoughts on most seasons. I'm like, this is very much a new season. I've not looked at the Rocket Pass, but then again, I feel like most of us are still on like the boycott Epic thing, so that's kind of what I've been doing. Well, not boycott, but like just stop buying stuff in the item shop. Or at least that's the general vibe, and I don't really want to cross that picket line if there is still technically one. I don't think really there is. I did get approached, I think, by Epic to be one of their Rocket League partners. So I think that means I'm going to start getting Rocket Pass codes potentially. That could kind of complicate things because then I'll kind of be forced to interact with them in that regard. I don't think anyone would hate me for that. Oh, buddy. Okay. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, kind of BLT. That's what I'm saying. Well, because like certain content creators, like you know, your job is to like buy the new car, make content around the car. And honestly, I feel like that's pretty easy clicks for some people, but I don't know. I just don't want to do. I mean, for me, it's not necessarily worth it because it's not like I upload that video and it gets automatically views. That's gonna be a That's definitely a dunk. I don't know, but that's kind of like my thought with like most of the seasons is like, it's a season, like it's fine. The new car, I haven't tried it, so I wish you could test the car before buying it. If they gave you like a little bit of like a trial period with the car, maybe like drive around a free play and just be like, hey, this is how a new car feels like. That'd be interesting. But of course that's against their business model because if you don't like it, then you won't buy it. But if everyone doesn't know, then they'll just all buy it to find out. I'm a bot. Got baited hard. What the? What the? How is he getting that? Or had like no boost whatsoever. Oh, I was almost a go. The picket line never got formed. It was more Reddit rant when people who don't buy anything anyway saying they'll not buy anything. Well, I mean, I know some content creators were also like, personally, I don't want to buy anything. Like, Paps literally tweeted out the other day, it's like, are we still freaking doing this? Like, I don't even know anymore. Because personally, I felt like that was my version of it. I'm like, don't yell at the devs. Just like, if you're truly upset with them posting only buy stuff to buy, then just don't buy it. Then it kind of sends a message. Like, hell, if you want to send messages, that's a great way to do it. For example, Starbucks lost $12 billion because of all the people protesting because they're sending money to Israel for aid. So, like, yeah, if you want to protest people, then hit them in the wallet. That's the place you want to do it. Then at the very least, Epic might have to reconsider, like, at least hiring some more people to handle PR or, like, press releases. Sorry, Particle. It's not sure if you didn't want that. Bruh. Spine particle, you definitely have that. And by definitely have that, I mean just wait. Cool. I'm gonna fake that because he'll let that one go. Dartek, why are you 900 yards back in the backfield? I didn't steal their corner boost. That's okay, because you scored. Yeah. Nice bump. Thanks. 57 gigs is, well, it's because Fortnite is like a whole thing now. There's like multiple games inside of it. And Fortnite is basically going to be the hub, where instead of just BR, it's going to be like you load Fortnite to load into Rocket Racing or to BR. Or, I'm not going to lie, the Lego Fortnite thing looks kind of lit. They're like, it's like an RPG. Like I started watching like more random nonsense about it, and I was like, there's iframe dodging and shit when you're fighting like mini bosses. I was like, what the fuck? I saw that and I was like, that looks like legitimately interesting. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an MMORPG because I don't like that. But if it's like a local co-op or something, I'd play that. The owner is willing to spend a good chunk on it. I mean, it depends on what a good chunk is. You can get cheap casting headsets beyond that, but dang, they need to fix that. I just played it and it's fun with people. Nice. Lego Rocket League. Is my teammate AFK or is he just... You didn't want to read that? He got 100 boost. All right, well. Rookie aerial training? Yeah, I froze in fear. That's why I didn't move. Also, aerial training is just terrible with a countdown. I should never load something and then it gives me a countdown to start it the moment I'm in. Like, it's not a race either. Like, the custom training is never like, how quick can you score these? That's cute. Unfortunate. Pretty good recommendations. I mean, I don't know a lot of like budget stuff you can get. You can probably get like a lot of Audio-Technica stuff seems to be pretty small in price. I think like some of the older Sennheiser ones, like the older models, you can get for like hyper cheap now. But so I would love to stop getting farmed. Not really sure what this kickoff was. That's not how you take a kickoff, homie. You don't side flip into it unless you're trying to lose it. Thank you. First day of season vibes? I mean, I guess. I know, I just don't play twos either, so there's gonna be a lot of variability in these placement games. Okay, nice touch, Jerky. Fake. I was just gonna play his hit and then I was gonna get his rebound, but he just... Frick you, Taco. That's tier 3 access. Wait, what? Oh, right, M80 JCham. I'm gonna just say JCham. I'm gonna pronounce it differently every time. JC Hammer, JChammer. Wait, Durkee is my brother? Wait, what? Your literal brother? I'm logging. I'm Yagami's little clone. Wait, that's so weird. He's your actual brother? That's funny. He's got to get in the lab. You guys could be the next You guys could be the next Leaks and iRicky. Current #1 player ranked in the world for 3 is Leaks. That's funny as hell. Okay, now I have to win though if it's with your brother. Turn myself into 2's hard carry that I know I maybe could possibly potentially be. All right, all yours. Oh, that's a weird cut. Nice. Waiting for RLCS to be announced. Bro, I just want RLCS and analysis content. I want to just go so freaking hard. I'm going to be doing match analyses at least once a week. If the games are extra good, I'll do more. People really responded to that. During majors, people love those videos. They had a lot of nice engagement. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's crispy! The angle! Those are my favorite just because you have to get like all of that one to be able to get that under the bar. Losing to Danger Taco is crazy. Man, the disrespect I'm getting today is kind of wild. Not gonna lie. People act like I haven't been playing this game for a while and kicking most of their asses while doing it. Aw. Like, if you played this game for long enough, you've lost to me. Like... delete all your vids. Bro really got hired as an analyst and then he had to realize he already like lost his job immediately. Like, wait, hold on. All this is public info? Never mind. I hate everything about that. Thank you. Just gonna hold that up. There you go. I saw Patrick on the backboard. I'm like, he is not going to land in time. I don't know if Ralph is like joking and I secretly know him, but like, that's a weird comment to make. Like, also funny is that I never play 2s. So like, maybe that's the insult because he knows that I don't play 2s or something. It's like, wow, cares you're losing me. I finished GC3 when I actually gave a shit for like one day. Then we went up like 100 more that one day. I was like, let's just try to play 2s, and what do you know? All right, that's a weird air dribble. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out, buddy. Oh, still tucked underneath me. They were so boost army. Yep. GG, sir. Yeah, the disrespect today is actually wild. Bro just started throwing. GG, coach. I want to run into the Kata Twaski whatever guy. Also, I got egoed by Luminosity for content, but they used a tweet of mine in their announcement video for Cheese. So I felt good about that. Or are you talking with certain ones? Yeah, M-Dog is actually working alongside a translator to be the analyst for Carmine Core. Pretty lit. GG Sticky. Yeah, he's chilled in chat. And he's like, wait a minute, that's my brother. And I'm like, oh, you're like your bro. Like, okay, you went to like high school together. He's like, no, like that's like my brother. I was like, oh, that's funny. Good comeback there. I was selling like I was working on commission the last game. Oh, very kind of you to leave that. Oh my god, is that G2 orb? Wait. I don't play a lot of 2s, trying to get back into it. I finished like, I got like GC3 and then I was like, that's good enough, and then I stopped playing. I just felt so weird like playing 3s so much and then getting like SSL or something, and then it's like my 2s is like GC1 and then my like 1s is like C2. So I'm like, all right, let's get them both at least like to get like GC3 and like GC1. I feel like those are respectable for like 2s and 1s respectively. Speed. I've always wanted to see like what it would take for me to slowly work my way into like a coaching eligible position on like an org level. Like that'd be like something I'd love to do. But ultimately my goal is just to be casting. Hopefully M80 or Luminosity hit me up. I've worked with both of them and they both liked me when I casted them, so hopefully that can extend. Oh, or if you want a faster cast, Jesus, that was completely useless for you. Get out of there! Oh. No, Enzo, no! I'm a 20-year-old worst answering DMs, so hopefully we'll get something going. Oh no. Zoomer second responding text DM, I know you're on the phone all day. Well, they're on the phone, but they have a lot of different noties they're answering. Honestly, I have to remind myself to answer good, like, high priority DMs first, or else they will get buried and I'll forget. I got like one of my dream gigs DM'd to me and I was so excited to answer. I told other people first about it and then didn't answer the DM for like an hour and a half. And I was like, wait, hold on. I got reminded that people were like, yo, what'd you say in response? I'm like, oh, I didn't respond yet. They're like, what are you talking about? You didn't respond yet. I was like, I'm sorry. Oh, orb, not like this. Not like this. Oh, you didn't shoot it. Weird, okay. Also good to see Baldur's Gate clean up with the game awards. Honestly, I'm super fascinated by the concept of what LG and like some orgs are doing with like having coaches, but then having like analysts separately. I thought that was really a weird thing because I feel like the whole value of like what people attributed to coaches was like the tactical understanding and like breakdown and analysis. And then when you have like specifically an analyst, so it's like so is the coach like the public facing version of that where like they're on stage giving like live feedback and whatnot, and then the analyst is the one who like breaks it down and like actually helps them like critique and improve? Because they didn't really break that down, they just like presented it like, yes, this is the analyst now, and I'm like, okay. They're nerd in the cave, he's the man in the chair. You're killing me, Smalls! Offensive coordinator versus head coach. Interesting, okay. Tap once, then flick. I think I missed that. Nah, they would have been in. Okay, but that would have been really close. That would have been really close. I was about to say, I'm like, oh god, if that guy like wasn't there. Oh? He solos those? Oh, never mind. Oh! The GOAT! What a play! What a heads up play by Orb, no boost. And he just slowly walks down against the bub. He's the GOAT! All right, we don't throw these. Good thing to know, yeah, is that we don't throw. Oh my god, what a play. That's gotta be tilting as hell. Oh no. My teammate, I think you have the butt facing the camera. Shh, just getting the nice boost right in the face. Yeeshers. All right, I do want to go back to threes a little bit. I feel a little bit more warm. Think about it's one thing to know what needs to be done. It's another thing to get players to understand and do it under pressure. Yes. I'm excited for the season to kick back up for CRL though. I'm excited to get back into the work with it with USF because I think the improvement's really good. I'd be excited to like pick it back up and resume because we're gonna have. I don't know if it's gonna get announced or not, or if it went through or not, but I know there was some really big moves in Canadian CRL going on for next semester. East is gonna get even more stacked. West is getting, I think, one big improvement, and then the rest is kind of staying pretty tame. Look forward to CRL. Grant my alum school probably not happening. Where'd you graduate? Yo, it's Brian. I haven't seen that guy in a while. West is the NA of CRL. Bro, did you see that? When G2's roster got announced, I thought there'd be like a bit more hype behind it. I think it was like 5K likes or something on that announcement video. And then I was like, I wonder how that compares to the Carmine Corps. 24,000 likes on that announcement. I was blown away by that. Granted, it was the G2 Rocket League account tweeting it, not like the G2, so that's a little different. But I was blown away by like that 24,000 likes on the new Carmine announcement. A roster that we already knew about. I will say there was a conversation that I think is kind of warranted. That it is a little weird then when Shift is so good at what they do because they're getting it straight from the players, they're not speculating, that like legitimately we'll probably never get surprised by a roster move again. Like in a fashion where it's like, whoa, that's happening. It's more like a single player that kind of pops up and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. But like in terms of like total players, like there's not a single roster that gets announced that we're like, whoa, it's kind of like, yeah, I knew about that 3 months. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about like when Chicago got upset. It's like Shift is leaking stuff they shouldn't. I'm like, listen, all the Shift is doing is being like, hey player, you want to leak something to me? And the player's like, okay. It's like, you shouldn't put that on Shift and being like they're being irresponsible. Sorry, homie, I didn't really want to knock that in place. You're following that? That's crazy, you're psycho. Hi, Trongy. How you doing? What are you up to, sir? Oh? I guess I shouldn't say sir. Just assuming that. Bro, I'm getting sat on. Not in the good way. I'm just gonna steal that, assuming my teammate gets a dope read there. Nice job, Mikey, good enough. GG's particle. Unfortunately, on that threes game, that was one of my first threes games on, and that was not an organized third we were working with at times. Ah. I want to slow it down. Kit Kat! He's gonna get in my way. I was like, what we show up to every once in a while and surprising every time. Huh? Oh, Oregon State. Oregon State actually does have a good team though. Private Boy, Lich. Banger pass, bro. So, you can't teach my positioning, all right? Yeah, I was trying to remember. I think it's profile. On your toe, what can I say? Try to flick that as much as possible. Can only do so much. Blind save. Uh oh. We're just gonna let them chase that because I know we have the back post covered. Rude. Uh-oh. Ah. That's positioning right there. Zero boost. The Rule 1 release. Surprise people. I really want to make a video speculating about that because I feel like that's like interesting news. But it's kind of like losing its relevancy, so I should have made that video a while back. But like, it's really interesting to me because it feels like it was a contract thing. Like, because the sub, SM7, he was, or whatever his name is pronounced, I'm sorry. I don't remember his pronunciation. But he was saying that apparently it's, he tweeted out, like, he's like, greed is he basically talking about greed. How it's like a bad emotion to have. And I'm like, I feel like that's like, because the Roas and Killiers were like, look, we're like one of the faces of your team. You market all the time that we're twins, da 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 da. Give us more money. And then they were just like, no. I'm like, okay, fine. People are rumoring they're going to another org, but I don't know. I guess they have hopefully they have a backup plan. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna be like not interested in signing them. RIP. I wonder if they're a package deal always, though. That would make it awkward. Because to be honest, if you had to pick, I don't think anyone's going to choose Killiers over Roas. You know? Like, Twins might have to get used to, like, playing against each other at a certain point. Otherwise, the team would have to dump 2 of their players. There's a lot of good players on a lot of those teams. It's kind of hard to replace 2 players and be like, yep, this is an improvement. Oh. Jasker dead. Wait, it's 2-0. Why am I like, I bully Lich, Private bullies me, and Lich bullies Private. Oh, okay. That works. Wanted too much money. Which is interesting, because, like, that, it punctures the idea that Incivic has infinite money. Or, respect to Incivic for knowing players' value and being like, hey, bro, don't get too big for your britches. They may have asked for something, like, actually psychotic. So... I have heard whispers that apparently the Falcons, this doesn't leave this chat. I have heard whispers that the Falcons apparently are some of the best played like esport athletes in general, like out there. The Falcons organization gets paid, like paid. So we'll see. But everyone's like, I think the Twins go to Falcons. I'm like, why would they dump Ahmad? Why would they dump 2/3 of the roster when they're already winning everything? Like, that to me is confusing, because, like, Rule 1's been, like, they lost to Falcons in the Saudi League championships. So it's like, why would they dump them? And then be like, oh, yeah, we should definitely pick up 2/3 of the team that we're already beating in tournaments. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't say something about why that is, but I don't think it's public. I mean, I know the reason, but I'm not allowed to say it because it is very much not public. I was told it in confidence, and he's like, yeah, it's like, don't mention all the details of that if you tell someone. I'm like, okay. We probably heard it from the same people, Loki. Oh, what a pass. The Nowhere's Club. Okay, I need to clear these Discord noties. Sending in a group chat and doesn't get out. Was a little laggy. Oh. Hi, Trev. This one's lit. The new UI has answered all my thoughts and prayers. Except for the fact it's not symmetrical. Thank God. How is it not centered, especially with fully squared off cube buttons too? What? I was in a match regarding 3, none of us have pros here, nothing to apologize for. I mean, it just, some games are frustrating. Definitely not the cleanest all around, but I don't know. I'm just also salty because like we're playing like basically just out of placements types of games. I had a player earlier who's like, don't queue again. And I'm like, homie. Then meanwhile, he stopped playing when we were only down by 1 with like 45 seconds ago. So his opinion's not really worth much. Oh, that would have been crazy. It's fine. I had 2 straight games, actually, I was getting trash talk, which is crazy. I don't really, I haven't gotten that in a while, people actually insulting me. Guy in my 2's game was like, losing to Danger Talk was insane, or crazy, and I'm just like, wait, what? That's a little rude. Grind a lot of this game in ranked. A lot of people have lost to me, at least at some point, so not super weird. I do wonder if there's actually like a player who has never lost it against me. Probably some of the players I've queued into. I think Chicago is one of those players. I think actually no, I did beat him in 1 ranked game. I remember. We lost, we won like overtime or something. Ooh, chat, this is not going well. Me, I've never lost you, that too. That's why I only see tactical chat. Honestly, kind of worth that. Oh, LOL's had it. Also, I'm gonna direct your attention to the realest shit I've seen all week. And I wish it wasn't so accurate. It has been so violently atrocious for casters in the past like couple months. And to be honest, I don't anticipate things getting like super good for the top tier. Granted, I will say Monte Cristo or Monty and also like some of the bigger casters quote tweeting this, they're the ones feeling the press the most because there's a budget cuts across everything. Like I would not be surprised if the people on, like from what I can tell on tweets, Spaceman did not get invited back to RLCS. I have not seen any tweets from Jen, but then again, Jen doesn't, or Lemon Kiwi, but she doesn't really tweet updates about her casting. So I don't know if she signed back on or anyone for RLCS. So I think RLCS is literally, since they're moving everyone to the Epic esports team instead of just like the Psyonix esports team, there's like select like 2 or 3 people I think from Psyonix who are moving to the Epic competitive team, which oversees all of Epic's esports. And I would not be surprised if a bunch of the RLCS people are taking massive pay cuts today. So they're definitely feeling the strain, and they're going to be esporting very hard and going to be also very much so working hard to be freelancing as much as possible. But other games, this is also happening a lot, where all the salaries that the big casters used to get, for like 100K plus or whatever, or at least like, you know, a decent 60K, 50K or whatever, that's all being taken away. And now they're probably getting paid like half of what they used to per show. And this is the thing that definitely, I can't quote tweet this, I will say, because it loses nuance and I don't want to. A bunch of me and the fellow casters were like debating if we want to weigh in on this, because this thing is actually low-key the most frustrating thing about it. Is there is a huge emphasis for a lot of people on essentially, as casters, you are not necessary for the esports product. And I don't know when this started. I'm assuming it's because orgs wanted to do more content, and they just started like being like, casters don't have skills that other people do. No one watches for casting, and then they just hire content creators or just streamers in general, just chatter people from the org to just do that for them. And then it basically turns everything into a watch party. Everything becomes casual. Everything becomes, I don't like to say dumbed down because I'm not trying to say like they're being dumb or anything, but like the esports product turns into just another streaming observation. It's just another just chatting type thing with esports in the background. And it's killing so many jobs right now that it's really rough, because I'm not super anxious about the upcoming year because I believe I have like a good place in it, but anyone trying to get into casting is fucked for this year because the rates are already super low. So anyone who's going to be competitive in it is already going to have to take a pay cut anyway. But even with that, my biggest issue is that this affects tier 2 the most, and tier 2 is always what gets shit on. So in my mind, tier 1 is RLCS in esports. They are the top of the tier. They get every big gig. Every time a 50K, 100K tournament comes up, they're the first one to get it. Anytime Salt Mine comes up and they're doing watch parties, they're the first ones that gets that. Yes, hello Bass. And so they get pay cuts, but they're still always at the top. They still get first gigs. And I'm not saying that they're bitching about nothing. Tier 1 sucks, but then tier 3 with the lowered rates means that a lot more gigs are going to become low paying, but in that doing so, it means that there's going to be way more gigs for people just starting out, because ultimately a lot of people might hear $25 an hour and they're like, that's a pretty good rate. In casting, you don't work every day. Most of the most productive casters work like once a week on average. Like most casters are not working 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, because your specialty, you do really tight, like concise, elegant work for like 4 or 5 hours at a time on a show, once a week maybe, if you're lucky, twice a week maybe. I think when I was at my most productive last year, I was averaging like 2.5 casts a week or something like that. But the thing is about that is that when you take tier 2 casting, which I would say is like myself, Bass, Seb, Vaudable, pretty much anyone on like CRLB stream, like a lot of those people who cast a lot but aren't big enough for tier 1 yet or haven't been elevated to that, but are also like well above most people that are like starting out. it gets awkward because our rates are right in the middle of that. But if tier 1 gets cut and then tier 1 takes all that, and then tier 2 becomes basically unusable because it's so low, tier 2 just gets nothing. Like, we have no gigs for us anymore because, not to call anyone out, but there was a Valorant gig lately that caught my eye in that they hired 2 agency-signed talents and then 3 people that I have legitimately never heard of. And when I say that, I'm not egoing them. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good that they're giving shots to people, but this was a pretty big event. And it made me think that the exact reason that happened is because they used a huge chunk of their talent budget to book the 2 big wigs, the agency talent, and then they had like scraps, and they're like, we're just gonna give it to random people who want to do with this, and then they just gave it to them. Because I'm not saying I know every caster, but it's incredibly rare that I don't see a talent announcement and I know a couple of them across all esports. I know a decent amount of casters, at least by name or something, and so when I see a talent announcement where I know absolutely nobody, that is a pretty big thing. And so for me, this is the biggest issue I have right now, is that the rates are being cut. And as much as I love Sonics and the esports team and how much I know they care for the esport in general, I don't feel like they're doing enough to secure jobs for like the people who uphold the community, which is like, I mean, Bass isn't here. Like Bass and I, we do a lot of stuff for Collegiate. We obviously try to do Champ League as well with our buds, trying to produce every bubble tournament, every small collegiate event as well. We're doing caster watch parties, like really the biggest watch parties in the collegiate scene, as well as doing a bunch of like bubble tournaments and side tournaments. We used to do the $10,000 Team Liquid tournaments that for a bunch of pro different teams and whatever. So that's the thing that's really been bothering me lately for sure, is that it just feels like with all these pay cuts, tier 1 is obviously complaining, and they should. They're getting a huge pay cut, but I think not a lot of people are paying attention to just like how incredibly frustrating it is, because we have already been through so many different crunches as tier 2 casters that are like, oh, they're getting more exclusive. A lot of people are going to fall off, but we're still here. Oh, a lot of people are going to fall off. We're still here. And after a certain point, it's just like, bro, are we ever going to like get the call? Because the only way this is ever going to be sustainable is if we get a sick fucking contract as the exclusive. Like, if we, I would be fucking down if M80 or like Luminosity wanted to do like a V1 type thing where we're like full-time casters and we go to all the events with them and we like basically just shill for them. I would be down for that. Give me a salary. Hell yeah, I'll do that. Or if tier 1 was like, hey, RLCS is like, hey, you want to help fill in for some days, or hey, do you want to work at this, blah, blah, blah. God damn it, take me to free play. So that's the thing that's really been bothering me lately, is just how people don't really think about how there's a lot of full-time esport people that are just getting like slowly shafted, particularly now that agencies are starting to lower their wages. Honestly, I was terrified of this day, and it's starting to come. We got like CSA signed people doing $25 an hour gigs. Like, come on, brother. Our boss has made bank. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk about Ace. Execs of that company making bank. They have 900 big, massive sponsors, and yet they're paying casters like $15 an hour, basically. Hey, chump change, they had to work a different full-time job before to live. Gross. Be profitable. I mean, I get that, but it's also, I'm also just generally upset with prize allocation. I will never again be okay with any company that has a $10,000 prize pool, and then they're like, hey, casters, do you want to work for like $100 for this 7-hour show or whatever? And it's just like, brother, what? Like, how is this a fair trade? Like, you have $10,000. You couldn't have made this an $8,000 pool? Like, yeah, 10,000 looks great, or 12,000 looks great, but like, you're telling me people would be less excited. Like, you're telling me people would look at a $12,000 tournament, $10,000 tournament, and be like, they are radically different. They're not even close to the same. Like, no one cares, bro. All that matters is it's a couple $1,000s. On time with net 60. Oh yeah, love that. We love. Also, what's funny is the reminder someone posted where they were like, I don't understand why casting is a net at all, considering most net contracts are like, basically you do the work, and then the net is like, so you can inspect all the stuff to see if like it got done up to your specifications, and then you pay. It's like in construction, that made sense. But like, in casting, what are you checking? you can listen in and be like, these guys are doing great, and then move on. G1 thought net 30 meant 30 years. I don't know, man. G1's so borked, bro. So sad. Yet another org bites the dust. Oh. Why'd they throw that so hard? I was like kind of expecting him to miss, but I was like, the odds he misses like 10%. Hey, Mura. Congrats on almost peaking on Sizz's stream. The odds that you would happen to land right there. Yeah, it's just like this weird environment, and honestly, I'm starting to see a very concerning trend of big companies starting to be like, okay, we're gonna pay out a net 45, and I'm like, bro, I need the rent for this next month, homie. Net 45 means you're functionally paying my rent 2 months from now. I can't do that. Like the reason I was able to tolerate net 30 is because I knew like once my bill was due in a month, I could pay it. But net 45 means, okay, now I gotta wait past September or the first of the month and then get it the 15th. Like, brother, that's not sustainable. Beautiful. I did a few others in my post. I want to get the prize from winning his viewer tournament. Let's go. That's kind of dope that he was giving merch. Straight glazing me all stream, then egos me when I have to play twos. Wow. I mean, he's got to hype you up in his own viewer tournament. But yeah, he's got an ego. Got to keep that rep. Oh, Dark the Goat. Never mind. What'll read? Wow, I'm psychic. It's cool. Never mind. Okay. I'm gonna get demoed. Never mind. How did I jump into that? That was a weird one. Rosek is so good. Good. Bold of you to assume orgs who only understand positive income as VC money to understand how this works. I don't know, I just find it really concerning when... I agree with Appjack that low-key pros should become more okay with contracts in which the org takes a cut of prize winnings. I do think that would be like a nice way to... Because then if they win a tournament, they like pay basically someone's salary just off that. It like cuts down a lot for them. I do think for the players, it's way less interesting of a contract. In an ideal world in the future, that was never going to be necessary because orgs are profitable enough that they can just say, hey, players, you get to keep everything, but... Until then, I do think it'd be fair for orgs to take some money. Someone was like, orgs should take 90%. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't sign that contract. Congrats, bro, you won $1 million. $1 million. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that, but it's like, I don't know if he won technically $1 million if org is gonna take 900,000 of it or whatever. One day I'll be in a Sisma video. Rosek gets me. I should have trusted. I'm gonna head to bed. Good night. Good night, them dog. I'm at 1687. I could have sworn I was like way higher. I put my sweatshirt on top of the stool across the room, and every time I glance at it from across the room, I think it's my black cat curled up on the stool. I'm like, why are you doing that? Freaks me out. Like a record deal where they take X% until salary's covered. That's kind of weird. I mean, that's like kind of not guaranteeing your I mean, I guess technically if your salary is like, okay, you will be paid X amount, I think that's a decent amount. And then it kind of acts as a bonus, but then again, I think more seasoned pros are going to see that kind of as like, wait, you're just not giving me all the money I'm earning versus this other org who promised me to blah, blah, blah. So I feel like it's like an arms race. The thing is like, yeah, it would be more sustainable for orgs to take a percentage cut, but at the end of the day, if another org offers like more money to a pro, I feel like, oh, you get to keep all your prize money. Like, I feel like the orgs are going to be way more attractive. I feel like I'd be curious to see if any of the orgs would basically allow, like, say, hey, we're going to take a percentage, but this is going to be a sustainable team. Like, we're not going to just die and cut you guys because you're too expensive. Like, this way we can pay you what you're worth, but also, so you're guaranteed, like, X amount of money, but this way you also get a little something for your money, but we get to, like, stay profitable. How about that? And I feel like some pros would be open to that. They're like, well, you know, it is nice. Like, I feel bad about people like on teams like EG where like you're playing well and then the team just gets cut because they're like, yeah, we're out of money. It's like, oh. The collapse of EG is pretty sad. Like, I don't watch a lot of other esports, but it is kind of crazy. Like, such a big org just completely exploded. I hate this taco guy. Bro, I was just talking about how much I hated Angie, and here she is. Just yap, yap, yap. The issue with a lot of orgs promise that and then die anyways. Yeah, see that. How much are players actually worth if the org isn't making money from the team? Well, that's why I also wish that more players actually tried to commit to half-decent content. I don't think anyone should be forced to make content, but people like Appjack, the reason why their contract is fucking huge is because they're worth that, because they're a content creator too. The eyes that people like Jack and Chronic are like, they're doing God's work of putting out content. The eyes that puts on Gen G cannot be understated. Yeah, like people ask, like, oh, why is Appjack like such a high contract? I'm like, bro, because he's a content creator. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people know him as a content creator. Like when you bring his name up. Nice shot, Brian. And I feel like that's the thing that pros, like if they're open to the idea of it, you don't even have to go super hard, especially if I'm a pro, low key, I'd be talking to my some editors at the people and be like, hey, would you be down to like pay a little extra or something for an editor to basically just like cut my reels or do like a pro series? Because like organizing that shit is not hard. Like how Reddles and Appjack do it, they just like they call up a pro, be like, hey, you want to do a video? And they're like, sure. And then you just record a couple games in comms and then you upload it. Like it's done. Like that's free money. That is free low money. Chronic got to like 100k subs or like 50k subs in like a week. Oh, I'm one of the top 10 teams of the planet. Yep. So therefore, Appjack's gonna make so much money off of like sponsors and off of YouTube and Twitch over time just because of that. And that shit I feel like people really need to pay attention to, especially if you're pros. Like you don't even have to be super crazy about it. Hell, Vatira even streams no mic, no cam sometimes, which I personally am like whatever about, but like people will watch that. People will give you subs. It's a good way to ensure you have income after you retire. I low-key don't know what pros do after they retire for some people. Like, I don't know what some pros do. Like, they're definitely not making, like, millions of dollars so they can just retire. Like, they definitely got, like, nice winnings. And if they're high school kids and they're living at home, probably a lot of that shit is just going right in the bank, but still. What's he gonna do? Vadi, I think he'll be fine. He's got a lot of years playing left, and I think he's gonna earn a decent amount. And honestly, that's why I think you should go into content. Just stream on the side. Literally just pull it like Justin. Justin's not doing anything revolutionary with his content. He's just streaming with pros, being goofy in VCs. That's all people need. I think if KDOP can succeed as a streamer because he wants to like interact with fans, if Tira went that route, I feel like he'd be successful way after he decided to retire. That could make millions. I mean, Vadi's also with Carmine Corps, which is such a great deal for him. Like that org is like otherworldly support, and he's like a deity for that team. So a lot of pros just want easy money. Well, that's the thing, is that my mind always goes to like what happens after you retire. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Especially for the people who drop out of high school and college. Like, those are the people I do get scared of. Like, people like Vadi, they're already set up. But the people who are like genuinely making those tweets that get copy pasta where it's like, I'm gonna drop out of college, I don't care, I'm gonna chase my dream, and they're not even a bubble player, I'm like, homie, do you have any idea how exclusive RLCS is? I literally made a YouTube short about this. How Chad Ochocinco, aka Chad Johnson, ex-NFL wide receiver, he's like, I think it's harder to play at the top level of esports as compared to the NFL. And low-key, he's not wrong. Like, think about how many teams actually get orgs in Rocket League. And then think about, what are we thinking, like top 12 in a region? So what, 36 players in the entirety of North America and Europe? Like, are you top 72 in the entire fucking world? I don't think so. And hell, a lot of these org contracts, some people are on, they're not even like jobs. They're like, oh, we'll pay you like 10K a year, especially in the low end. Like a lot of bubble players are like, well, I'm like in the top percentile. I'm like a 2400 MMR player. I can hit 1600 in ones. I'm like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, bro. Ranked does not describe the player base. Like, you got to show up in tournaments. You got to get a team. I think about a lot of players in our current scene that like just don't get discovered, which is why I'm excited that Eris gets a shot at some orgs. Hopefully that team announcement comes out soon. I want to see what that kid can do. 2400 means something. I mean, yeah, but I'm just exaggerating to say like if a bubble player accomplished that, like, oh, I'm beating out Monkey Moon and all that shit. It's like cool, but like that's not going to guarantee you that you're going to be on an org or whatever. Or going to be like a legend of the game. That's why I feel like if you're gonna, I mean, it's kind of the same way as like, I shouldn't have turned up, but I didn't think that would be a problem. I get irritated by also the same things that like, that's why I think pros should definitely invest in other things. And low-key, it's kind of why I'm happy that I already have like a content pipeline built up for myself. Because I will say the one thing that is a little bit frustrating is being a caster is back in the day, how to make it in casting is exist with a pulse in your game and do like a lot of grassroots stuff. Like if you look at a lot of the RLCS people, it was people who were doing like Nexus tournaments casting in the beginning, or they were on like a esports generally, and then they were like asked to pivot to Rocket League. Whereas now, like people who have to get in are like either disgustingly huge from another game, like Lemon Kiwi, or you're people like eventually I think Herc, who was already a massive TikTok creator and Twitch partner, who also got into casting. So like you need to be like a jack of all trades, like fucking talent. Whereas like you look across esports, there's not a lot of people who are like that right now. And it's kind of another frustration of like the modern economy of like how much you have to do as a talent nowadays to like even be employable or be kept in the public eye. No shot, we lost, thank you. I mean, I get that people have to pay their dues, like, and whatnot, and you gotta, like, do a lot of nonsense to finally grind up. Like, that's the thing, everyone has to do that to a certain extent, but for a lot of people, it's still not enough. Like, you're not owed anything. That's why I try to be very careful with how I describe casting. Like, I express frustration at maybe not getting shots at stuff, but I'm never saying it's because I deserve it. Like, in that, like, I should be getting that stuff. I'm just saying it's like, if not me, if not Bass, if not Herc even on RLCS, like then who? Like, then who else would be eligible? And if it's no one, then it's like that. I feel like that's a problem, that there's no cultivation of talent. It's literally just like, nope, we're just gonna have these people for the next 15 years, no changes. Like, oh, what kind of scene is that? Also, what message does that send to all your casters? Hey, thanks for supporting our grassroots. This is as far as you fucking go. Like, bruh. The nut punch if I've ever seen one. I should. Man, thank you. Me and Jess get the exact same idea. Oh, that was a weird one. That's bad, Brian. I was really scared I overread that one. I think people are underrating M80 for sure. I think AJ's still waiting for like his defining performance. I don't think anyone doubts that AJ's a good player, but it's a little bit rough that I feel like he's like almost like a second tier of top level. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people regard AJ as like a very good player, but not necessarily like this is the foundational pro, like a first killer or like a beast mode. And I feel like that's like, this is the team I feel like that AJ can definitely prove, like, you give me the right tools and it's fucking over. And I'm super pumped for that. Also get Yoris into some like peak mid-season form early on. Nice. Like oxygen pre-major type shit, you know? I think the G2 roster is going to be real fascinating. If this turns into a V1 Part 2, I'm going to be really blown away. Has to be an insane player. I feel like he's the most under the radar player. I'm honestly going to do a review on him the moment they play their first games in RLCS. Because I think that's a player that I really like, but I feel like not a lot of people are super hype about it. Like the announcements came in, they were just like, cool, Nas, another European player. And I'm just like, yeah, bro, like this guy's sick. Like I feel like people should be very aware. Almost sold. Shopify Rebellion is in my kind of my pick for like one of those teams. It's like definitely in the off season has been showing like they want to show that they're like serious contenders. Granted, beating bubble teams and beating like actual pro teams is a little different. Granted, they're doing that in these teams, but like. Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of games like that for sure. Where you watch someone and you're like, oh. But that's the thing about like a lot of players. There's a lot of players that are just behind like some of the best in the world in certain things. And you're like, man, if they can just clutch it up. And that's the difference I feel like between pros and a lot of other gamers out there. Is they're just like, the pros always have that extra 10%. Like they're just have a clutch factor, or their reads are a little bit more consistent, or they're more reliable in certain 50s. Or generally, sometimes it's just confidence. The amount of times I've seen a pro or like a high-level 1v1 player win just because they don't doubt themselves is insane. Oh, you can still see it in Wavy sometimes when he's playing. Like he like knows he's good, but he's like also still gets like really nervy in some areas, and like fake challenges when he's like, oh, he probably could have won that, and then you can hear Fear or Johnny or the caster being like, oh, I thought he had it. Like what happened, buddy? Love Wavy. Just a good dude. I love any pro is just like a laid-back personality. I'm glad he's streaming so much. He's definitely gonna get partnered. Hopefully he can roll that into something. I mean, people definitely love 1v1ers. I don't love it when my second cuts me on the same read. I mean, technically he wouldn't know that I'm there, but... I just realized how long this OT is. Try to read that bounce off the pinch. Thought I would bounce out a little bit more. He was like, break check. I'm late on like all these reads, I gotta stop. Oh my god, that could have been game. I don't think Brian even realized halfway through. I don't want to take that away. Ah, I totally could have. I'm sorry, Jask. That was confusing. Fine. Oh, I was kind of hoping he'd stole that boost. Like, I'm just gonna get the boost, collect. Thank you. No, fine. I think I got two. That's a hard read. That's a really hard read. Get it. I can take all 3 boosts, but... Oh. I shouldn't have chowed that. I knew he was going to throw it away. I thought he would have less because he was kind of like reaching for it. Not less, but like just a pure touch. Got a redirect. Because... Brian? I wanted to spike that a bit more direct on the backboard first. No! Not the front flipping 50 into the middle. Anything but that. Sag. Outside of us, I can't be unbiased. G2, Genji, OG, and Lumiere are all I'm preparing most for. Luminosity, I'm always a question mark on. I think Magic Bear probably played like the best Rocket League of his life in the end of the season, so I'm really happy about that. That's like the one thing I'm pleased about is that Magic Bear, I think, when he was on Optic, for a while I was kind of like, the elephant in the room of Optic is like, they would be great if they just had a different third. And then I felt like he got much better and better and better. And then it felt like they were like a legitimate challenger. Granted, they didn't really have the clutch factor always locked in, which I think hurt them. But for the most part, I was like, okay, cool. He's like, they're doing better. They're doing better. Like, I can feel it. Cool. And then when they separated and AJ was like, I'm going my own way. And then Reddles was like, I'm going to stick with Magic Bear. That really surprised me. Because I was like, I thought they were friends, yeah, but like I really thought Reddles was gonna be like, yeah, Magic, cool stuff, but I'm also gonna go out my own. Cheese is someone I think is definitely a good pickup. I was dead serious. They quote tweeted me, or they quoted my tweet that I responded to on the Shift article. It was like, Cheese is the best addition to any dish or roster, and that's kind of like my vibe with Cheese. He's been probably one of the best younger players, I would say, in the scene. Definitely a interesting player to watch develop. So could be a very fun team. I don't know how they're gonna do though. It's a little strange. I view it as almost like a Parth two-piece situation where you're kind of waiting on like those, like a bond to form and like a young dynamic duo. I think when two-piece and Parth were kind of recruited, I think everyone kind of acknowledged that both of them were good players, but they were like, they're not quite living up to it. And then lately they've just been on a tear. They're winning like 2v2 tournaments. They're winning like 2v2 tournaments together. They're actually playing well in the draw, winning or getting pretty far, and pretty much the majority of them, it almost feels like. Yeah, they are 100% farming draw. Which, considering they're giving like 4 spots in the draw to pros, that's pretty impressive that they're still winning those. Where's Chicago going now? I don't remember. I feel like it was supposed to be Dig. What's the rumored Dig roster? It's Evo and who else? Evo Andy? No, not Evo Andy. Andy's going. No, it's not. I think Dig dropped Andy. He used to be there, but I think he dropped. Wish they would have stuck together longer. They were fine. I think that I like their social media. Farland or Farwater rather. He did a good job of like making like a lot of fan bases. It's incredible how much of a fan base that team had. Low-key, when they changed it to Torn, it was a Jover. No one liked Torn compared to Alpine. Torrent to me, the problem is like, it's a cool name. I actually really liked the name Torrent, but it's like generic digital glitch esport org. Also super recognizable, like goat. Nope, now it's just a circle. It's like, no. Like, that was always weird for me. I know, but I know it's out. Yeah, we had it here in the Discord with all the players. All you players love to flaunt shit. Or players and coaches. Every time I get an org signed person in here, they're always like, yeah, I know that, but I can't say it. And I'm like, okay. Then shut the fudge up if you get share. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a car that's basically orange, so I thought it was an orange for a second. I got really confused. My brain turned off. I feel like I've never really been able to like befriend too many pros. I have a couple that follow me on Twitter, and Com said he'd get barbecue with me when he moves to Dallas, so that's dope, but other than that, I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I don't really have the connections. It's like one thing as a caster, I feel like I should cultivate more, like being more friendly with them, go in their streams maybe more. Not necessarily like networking, but just like I should know the people I'm casting more and more in tourneys. Ugh. Yeah, JC, what's it like to get $200,000 a year? Are they paying you in gold bars, or are you actually still getting money? Or are you getting paid in like Twizzlers? Terrible shot, but okay. Zerf, get off. Oh. It is voice. Weirdo. No! Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, do not be a hero. Bruh? I thought John stole that and then knocked in the bar. Got some kind of cadence. AJ's a goofy goober. I feel like that gets hidden sometimes. Not much different than coaching other teams on the trust. I think that's kind of the hardest part, is like getting pros to trust the system that the coach or analyst is trying to put in. That's what a lot of pro players that I was like at Worlds, I would talk to people about like Roll Diz coming on, and a lot of the pro players are basically like, well, the thing is about FaZe is like they're such good players that a lot of people like just don't like. A lot of coaches don't click because they just don't respect them as players, which is why I think we're starting to see an increase in like pros becoming coaches, because it's like, who's gonna know? Like Aleutian as a Gen G coach, like why would you trust his knowledge? Because he's already been a pro. He's been a pro before you were a pro, homie. During like a competitive era too. That's AIDS, bro. He didn't even get close to me on the bump. I feel like I'd be interested in coaching, but I just can't dedicate too much time to that shit. Just, especially like unpaid bubble stuff. Tough. It's also that eternal conflict. If I ever work for an org, like in a coaching capacity, I could never cast. Whoa. Oh my god, I messed that up so much. That ball bounced a little bit more on the inside than I thought it would. Okay. Harlequin. Okay. He's gonna dunk me. Never mind. I'm waiting for a true inner run. Rule 1 got pretty close, but like I'm looking forward for a team that's like actually looks like they're fully in every series. The thing about Rule 1 is that even though when they are winning, they always look like they're right on the verge of collapsing. It's like really terrifying. It's, I think, what makes them so interesting. Because like ultimately, like, they're just a team that freaks. I feel like people will just freak out and they're constantly it feels like when they're rotating. So I feel like that for me loses them a little bit of fan support. Vitality, too many teams. I mean, Vitality's still gonna be great, obviously. I think KC is probably, well, that's a lie. I'd say KC probably got like the best of the top teams in terms of like roster to roster moves improvement. I think that's probably their same. However, Gentlemates is an interesting one. It's a Seiko, Juicy, and Itachi. I think Atto will have to adjust. Depends on what role he wants to fulfill. A weird, can be a very strange situation for a lot of players. Any coach selling a system to teams is scamming. I mean, I use the term system, but ultimately every team has to be, in my opinion, a coach should be looking at all the strengths of all the players and then finding a way to make it all work together. And if you want to call that a system, sure, but like it's pretty mercurial. Like I try to, when I coach USF, for example, like I try to like teach them like what I think they should all be doing based on what they're strength in, and then we test out what they like. And once they lock into something, then I just try to figure out, okay, what goes wrong when we do this and how do we mitigate that? So, but if you're specifically saying like, you are this role, we're always gonna play with too high pressure demo, boost steal, blah, blah. Because ultimately you're gonna play a team that fucks that up and you're gonna be like, oh no, our system. Like you shouldn't be focused on that. I think that's what makes coaching difficult for Rocket League, because I definitely think Rocket League coaching is a tangible thing that can improve teams. But I don't think it's tough because it's also very, it changes a lot. It's variable in that the game state is so in flux that it's not like playing football where you're taking a break, calling a play and whatever. I think what he's trying to say is like, you're specifically saying like, oh, we're gonna play 2 players this way and da-da-da-da. All players have tendencies. Well, yeah, but like, even if you ask me to describe like, how do I play? I'd be like, I can give you a description, but like, that's not just going to describe how I play every single game. Like, I used to describe myself as a third. I like playing like deep third, play support, find passes out of the midfield and whatever. But nowadays, I like actually playing a much more aggressive role. I saw John hesitate in the midfield. I thought I got that boost. I think he thought he was going to get that boost. Tell John I love him? No. Why did I drive so high on that? What car is that guy driving? Why I check the scoreboard to find out what car he's driving, I'll never know. Oh. I mean, granted, I don't listen to a lot of like hot takes some people have, because there's genuinely people who are like, coaches don't do anything, and I always thought that was the most hilarious thing. They just yell, play harder on the game, and I'm like, yeah, and it's just a surprise that all like the super successful teams in the past had coaches. I'm like, okay, buddy. And look, you can hear it in interviews when players talk about like their team, like, oh, what did you attribute to it? They're like, the coach. Like, the coach has just been doing great. They put us in a good like place. They figured out what we need to do, and then we just do it. And it's like, yeah. Whereas like, there's definitely some interviews where they're like, yeah, I just want to thank my team. And it's like generally, but like players will go out of their way to be like, yo, thanks to Farah, thanks to Eversax, thanks to, you know, blah 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 for downloading the players, and they did really well to prep us for this matchup. They did blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's what they need to do. I do think that's the approach that I like. Waiton, for example, he's been coaching Boise State. And if I ever get the chance to coach a college team, that's exactly the system I want to do, is basically do individual coaching sessions to make sure everyone's improving on their own track, but then obviously do a lot of team review to make sure you can set that together. I think that would be kind of the way I would structure things, is set up one-on-ones to go over like recent scrims or whatever. Because I think there's stuff you as a team you can work on, but there's also certain times where like I feel like it's really important to like focus on one player, be like, listen, you do this really well, but you keep trying to do blah blah blah, or maybe the way you're going for this isn't necessarily working. Like maybe we just tweak it a little bit. Like, the thing I like about Yagami on USF is that he's like mechanical as hell, but he's also just like a psycho. He will go for everything, and I feel like that playstyle works so well for him because he's like a ones SSL. So basically, we decided early on, I'm like, Yagami, I want you to just like be aggro. I want you to be on the ball. I want you to force the defense to be awkward, and everyone else is basically going to be playing off that for the most part. So we're going to test that out, and we literally did a scrim and we demolished that team. They were like, you guys have been the most annoying team we have played, like straight up. Just because it's like we locked that in, we watched through replays, we noted like when we should have been aggressive, when we shouldn't have, how to take your foot off the gas and whatever. And then we played that team, and I think we outscored them like 24 to like 9 or something like that. So I was like, yeah, it was going well. Tell him to come kiss me on my hot mouth. Oh my god, dude. Oh, you guys need a room or something? Jesus. Surely that doesn't go in, right? Nice. Oh! I was trying to beat that first guy to do it, and I realized, oh wait, I'm underneath it. Oh, well. Honestly, a big thing for team coaching that I think is important, and that if people, I don't get the coaching is BS thing, is like ultimately the reason why team coaching is important is because there's a lot of players that come in that do not work together because they play the same way. Like that happens all the time when I used to do team coaching a bit more often on my Medify. It was like I'd coach a team and I'd be like, you guys are overlapping because you guys have the exact same tendencies, and that doesn't necessarily be a problem. The issue is like you're so presumptive on your movement that you're not leaving space for any like interpretation. Can I link the tweet here? I mean, sure. I'm trying to type a quick text. You ever feel like your fingers are just misplaced slightly? Like your fingers are just like a little bit left and right of where they usually are? Ulti. Oh, it's ulti! Rotation's the highest level, not the epitome of the game, by the way. It's way too fast to try to maintain a team structure as opposed to just adapting it effectively. Individuals make the team. The team is not made through crafting a team formula. You just keep correcting. the way I view it is like you do want to set like a team goal. Like in my mind, I always liked coaching teams by saying like, I think our ideal play style is forcing the team and other team into these situations and trying to get super effective things. And if one player likes to play that role, then I'm going to encourage you to do that, and other people need to play off of it. And then there's just selective corrections like I'll do in comms where I'm just like, yo, we're playing great, but you need to remember that like not every attack needs to be taken advantage of. Like there's a couple times where we'll probably get a more effective attack if we back off instead of continuing to be aggressive. Like being aggressive is great so long as you have like boost control and good reads, but if you're like playing for 50-50 as third man in the backfield, it's like that's not it's not like a safe thing. Just fake challenge, take the L and then clear back or whatever. I like Alti and I trust his thing, but he has a lot of hot takes. I feel like he's just a very outspoken person, and I feel like that's kind of hurt his rep at times, and I feel bad. I do actually trust his analysis on a lot of stuff. Gets in his head a lot though, as well though. Like there was no one trash talking him, and he was just like, "I'm gonna retire from coaching for a bit." Because I've ruined so many players by my misguided things. I'm like, bro, fine. You didn't ruin any players. You just were coaching in a way that you later thought was ineffective or less effective than it could have been. Like, that happens. My hope is as more programs get funded, they'll be positioned at schools for hire for Rocket League coaches. I feel like those would be something I would definitely pursue a lot. I'd love to be able to like be like a full-time coach, analyst for, especially if it's anything close to that. The Illinois State job is just like such a dream. 60K, full-time Rocket League coach. Juicy, bro. Also, you got a dope-ass office. Well, actually, I don't know if they actually have an office on campus. I don't think they work on campus still. I'm super happy we got that, though. Only natural goes to the GOAT! Boost rolls, read players, BDS. Yeah, I think it takes a lot of coordination to just have everyone like flow into each other like BDS does. Definitely a very good team. Definitely very deserving of a finalist thing. I'm just happy Rise got a major win. Low-key, I was kind of scared that Rise would develop into a player that was like never going to win a championship or LAN. I'd be real sad about it. Yeah, but it's also like not necessarily playing exactly to your. Like, I feel like people have a misleading sense of like what is people's strengths are. Like, one thing that always kind of blows me away is when people were like, I can't believe Zen doesn't like try and be way more mechanical. And I'm like, because he shouldn't be mechanical. Like, a team that good and that organized, you should not be trying to solo carry it every single time. Like, you should be using your mechanics to set up plays for your then teammates. And I feel like that's what Zen does really well. And that's why I think that's the biggest difference, at least between him and, I mean, granted, you can argue that, you know, Daniel has just had not as good of teammates as Zen has in the beginning of his career, but I will say, like, Zen, it fits way better into systems than Dan. I feel like Dan's like an incredibly good player, but he's very much a player that like he wants to be the player to like force the mistake out of the events. He wants to take the solo dribble, which is great, but like at a certain point, if the other team is playing solidly enough and you're not able to break through repeatedly, you're not going to generate pressure, and you're just going to kind of like peter out in the midfield. Like that's what I noticed the most about Dan over time. Like, yeah, just because he can take every dribble doesn't mean he necessarily should. Even the best players in the world are going to get shut down over and over. No, Zen is like otherworldly, but what I'm saying is like a lot of people are like, oh, you got to play roles based on your strength. But there's like a mentality that some players should play as like the attacking front man. Like they're always the one to like grab the ball, set the ball towards net, take a dangerous 50 or take an air dribble, get a reset, whatever. But I think some people think that so much that they're like, oh, because Zen's good at that, he should always be like that. Like, nah, Zen should play like a normal player, use his mechanics when they're necessary. The lead in the closing seconds, yep. And that's because some players just get in that mentality. Honestly, if you watch old Falcons gameplay, they lost a lot of series at majors. Because even when they're playing well as a team, when they get behind, they just default to solo carry mode. Almost like they're all ones mains, and they're like, oh, it's become a ones game, and they just started like air dribbling, air dribbling, air dribbling, air dribbling, and I'm like, where is the passing? Where's the combo? There's not even like lead demos. They're all just like waiting to get the ball so they can solo carry it. And I don't think it was them panicking as much as like that's just their default state. Like when they don't know else what to do, their brain just turns off and goes back to like factory settings, which is like ones main. Oh. I think the thing that makes Zen a huge, like, difference between everyone else, I've never seen a player get a first touch as good as him. That's not normally a quality you associate with being a pro, like the first touch. The way he gathers literally any ball at any angle on the air dribble is wild. It's like, it's incredibly rare even just to see him like mess up his first catch to start off his air dribble or into a reset. That's the most fascinating thing to me. I've never seen a player be able to like turn any ball into an air dribble. Because most of the time you'll go for it, and even if you try to slow down or touch as lightly possible, it'll still bounce out. With Zen, it just like glues to his front bumper. It's just like, oh, I guess I just have to accept that I'm gonna get air dribbled on this as you challenge him. I know V1's problems are more than just like Daniel though. I can't even comprehend a team that can win a regional, but then separate that win by 2 9th through 12th finishes. Like, how does that even work? Like, how are you that inconsistent? Granted, Complexity was like very close to doing the exact same thing if they had lost to V1 in that third spring regional, but still. Yeah, like when they won that regional, it wasn't even close. They were decimating everyone, and that for me felt like vindication because I was on first touch saying that. I was like, I think this team has a better potential. And then when I saw that, when it wasn't even close, I'm like, this is what I was talking about. And then they just go right back to like double committing, challenging his third man super late. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Did you guys just like not eat today? Did you not get sleep last night? Like, it was just so weird. I've never seen a team like that just fall apart. Because it wasn't even like they were getting outplayed. They were just like diving and getting beat. And I'm like, this is not the team I saw like 2 weeks ago. Like, this is straight up a different squad. Little risky shot, I like it. Just looks like he is the car. Yes. Nice. Okay, we're back to 1700, that's nice. Slowly. Out of accepted weights. I'm low-key pretty salty we didn't get a. I'm so salty that we didn't get a trailer for Elden Ring tonight. Sounds like some Mario music. Yeah, I keep thinking that. It does kind of sound like the Mario... I say this is like the EDM version of like the Mario Odyssey tracks. Yeah, it touched me. I had a nothing touch there. Instantly transcending. Yep. How you doing, Spade? Kitty made a weird noise. I wanted to check on her. What? Nice. Stop taking much and start taking ketamine. Oh shit. Lovely. When are you going pro? I don't know, bro. Anytime now. By going pro, you mean casting RLCS? I would love that to happen. Fortunately, it's not gonna happen this season. Probably not gonna happen next season. Just gotta wait for the epic competitive team to make literally any changes whatsoever. And I don't think they're gonna do that. Well, actually they are. They're just gonna cut people, but they're not actually gonna sign new people. I always find those comments my favorite, like to be like those people who like in my chat, they're like, "Talk, you're not going anywhere in this game. You're not gonna go pro," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not trying to go pro in this game. Calm down, man, buddy. Sorry you lost to me in a single ranked game. Didn't realize this would ruin your whole life." Like, what about my YouTube and Twitch has ever portrayed the idea that I think I'm a pro player or pro ready? You know, those pro level streamers that don't do 6-mans, don't play rank 2s at all. Like an Imagine sort of question. Nah, I would never. I'm nowhere close to being a pro in my own mind, and I don't think I have the potential either. Getting old. I don't grind the game enough. Lacking a lot of like core mechanics still, or at least the consistency on them. It is fun to play in those high level lobbies, but you know, you got to play in them a lot to get used to that speed. Whoa. I don't know why I thought I had like 10 to 15 more boost. I assumed I bought enough time for him to get back, and I was technically right, but didn't see that demo coming. Sag. Gonna take 50. Ah, I thought that would bounce down. I don't know how you read that so clean. Serial East player calling him a 1600 speed. God fucking damn it, dude. I did not think that would be a problem at all. I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention to 1Zen's rotation there. I thought he was way faster on the way back. So I was like, ah, it's fine if I get beat. What the? Oh, wasn't paying attention to him actually following it. What's going on with R1? My guess is that Rawas and Killiers asked for too much money, and then Civic was like, screw you, and they're like, okay, we're leaving then. Like, okay. Because I'm assuming their contracts ran up and then they asked for like a crazy raise because they think they deserved it, and then even in Civic was like, bro, I'm not paying that. It doesn't really matter who calls you a 1600 peak, people are weird. My favorite is like, I've solo queued to SSL and gotten rewards like 7, 8, 9 seasons or something like that, and people still like, Taco, have you ever hit SSL before in my ranked games? I'm just like, bro, talking to someone who's never actually been in an SSL game, that's so rude. They're still a team like they don't only have one player right now. Maybe 2 if their sub plays. Yeah, like Rule 1 as an org still exists, it's just the 2 of the players got dumped. Gotta go. Alright, good night, J-Champ. I'm also gonna have to leave soon as well. Also just because I need to edit and can't stay up forever. Hey Spade, look at this bum I'm playing. Bums, rather. Maybe triple bums? No. Only 2 bums. Oh, trying to pop that. Way too low. Saves are weird. Okay. Zen. Patrick, maybe? Okay. God damn, I thought it was gonna roll down. Wait, they got that? Bro, I haven't seen 100 boost since Vietnam. fine. No. Okay. Ross and Killiers would need to start getting paid a lot of money to stay with Austin, and R1 didn't want to play complete salad, so it'd be more. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if they actually want that much money, it'd be kind of weird to like demand a bunch of money and then go to a different org. Because like, Roland, I feel like probably has a lot of money, so it'd be weird to think that like another org would be willing to pay that and dump 2 other players. That's where I keep like getting a hang up. I think Ross is more valuable than Killiers. And so it just, to me, feels weird that you'd cut 2 players from your roster just to sign Killiers and Ross and risk potentially downgrading your roster. Yeah, I need to go to bed anyway because I can feel... Stop drinking caffeine and I can start feeling it a little slow today. Some of these reads down the stretch. Nope. That was a difficult catch anyway. I hit that a little weaker so it's a harder clear. I disagree with you winning that strong, but okay. I passed. Oh. Oh, Pat. Ugh. I should have helped. I didn't realize Patrick was dodging. That would be fine. Don't tell me to lose this game 2 straight with 1 Zen and Pat. We should definitely not be losing these games. And yeah, bad kickoff by me. Almost yielded that, so fun. Okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Doing that.